What is up, people? Welcome to the stream. I know it's been a minute since I've done this, but um, I just had some take care of some real life stuff. But here I am. I kind of do like I don't make like a little schedule, nothing. I just do it as things come to mind, and I just want to talk about them. But today I want to talk about fighting games, like in general. Like I just I think it was like a couple days ago. Well, not ever since the Hihachi trailer came out for Tekken. Um, it had me. It raised some questions about things I had in general with fighting games overall in the future, and some ideas I had that I think could go towards making fighting games a lot better. Some of this stuff, this is all opinions and stuff I have towards fighting games going forward, but I just, I felt like getting some of that stuff off my chest, putting it on record and all that stuff. So, of course, if you like what I do here and want to see more, just, subscribe to my channel, like the videos, do all that good YouTube shit. But, yeah, let's get into it. But I want to start off by saying, when it comes to fighting games, I feel that, especially nowadays, the developers, I don't know, it seems like they're afraid to take risks when it comes to fighting games. Like when it comes to the story, that is. I don't know, like it's like they don't know how to make a good story anymore. And I know some people, especially people nowadays, since FGC and Evo and all that stuff is big these days or whatever. But and those guys, uh, I'm just gonna come out and I'm assuming, I don't like to assume things, but it feels like they don't care about the story, or it's like the story does not take precedent at all. And it's all about winning tournaments and stuff. But since I'm a casual, I feel like even though it is a fighting game, the story should have some importance within the game, as where knowing what the motivations of the characters are, and or what they're doing and what's going on in their world. Because without the story, it just is kind of boring. Just a bunch of people fighting each other. You know what I'm saying? They just out there fighting just to fight. But and also having these characters have different personalities and character development, especially with these. A lot of these franchises have been around for a long time, so to see these characters grow and develop over time, some some of the heroes eventually become bad guys, vice versa. Some characters die off. Some characters end up training new proteges to take their place. Things like that. It's good to see shit like that. Keeps the fan base interested and engaged in their favorite characters or whatnot, right? So, the only reason I'm saying this because when it came to fighting games, some of the earlier fighting games I played, like for instance the SNK games, Fatal Fury, and following that, King of Fighters. And I'm just come out and say it. Out of all the franchises, I think King of Fighters has the best story, hands down. May not be the best storytelling, but the overall story itself, I think it has the best, hands down. Their character development is the best. It also helps that a lot of the characters in King of Fighters came from their own games beforehand. So I guess you could say they were already somewhat developed, right? For instance, everybody knows who Terry Bogard is. Andy and Mai Shiranui. That's how popular these characters are. They come from the Fatal Fury games. They've been around forever, and he has a good. And aside from their development, their design as well is pretty iconic. Especially like I said, Terry Bogard, both designs, the his original with the red vest with the hat, blue jeans, all that shit, and his Mark of the Wolves Garo outfit with the bomber jacket. They both had the star on the back. These are both very iconic looks for him. And also, he's a very cool character, regardless, which is why you see him everywhere. Like, he's gonna be in Street Fighter Six. Him and Mai Shiranui coming up here, Season Pass 2, and he's also on Smash Bros. And various other titles across the board. Like, he's one of the most iconic, even though he's not the main character, King of Fighters, which goes to Kyo Kusanagi. He's still one of the most popular, most seen characters within that franchise. But his story, like King of Fighters, the King of Fighters games, they have multiple. I would say SNK does it the best with the story because one, they're not afraid to let more than one hero take center stage. Like I know Street Fighter has a problem with that. Over all their games, it doesn't matter who the bad guy is, what the connection is between him and the rest of the cast. Ryu has always been the one to beat the bad guy most of the time. I think I could be wrong, but I know he took that in Bison Street Fighter V with the help of everyone else. Everyone helped out, and then to be honest, I feel like that win, especially even though M Bison's coming back now, that Street Fighter V story, that final, the final fight, with everybody there helping, since it's Shadow Lu and Gao, Cammy, Chun Li, right, and Charlie or Nash in that game, that's their bad guy. They have the connection to him. They've been trying to take this dude down for years. He's done them. He killed Chun Li's father. Killed Nash. So that, and he's also against the trying to take over the world. So already Nash and Gal are investing that. Chun Li's also Interpol, and then there's the connection with Cammy. She was raised to be another body for him to take over. He done the body swap Orochimaru thing. And Cammy escaped from that and got the brainwashing done. She got Winter Soldiered and shit. So that's her motivation for taking him down as well. But no. In the final battle, Ryu comes in after they done did everything. They done tried everything they could. They lose the fight. Ryu comes in and beats M. Bison with the power of nothingness. So it felt like a cop out. It's like he has nothing to do with them. Even though he is the poster boy for Street Fighter, that's not his fight. His fight's with Akuma. And that's another thing about the fighting games. Although you had the main story within that game, you also have these other side stories. And even though Ryu is the main character, he shouldn't be the main hero, if that makes sense. Kind of like how the poster boy for Mortal Kombat is like either Scorpion or Sub-Zero. They're, the final boss, the guy that's beating the final boss is not going to be them, But I think that's a bad comparison, to be honest. But still, you get what I'm saying. But in King of Fighters, it's not going to always be Kyo's team that takes down the final boss. In fact, they've had multiple teams are, and that's not thing. They put their villains over very well, showing how strong their villains are compared to the heroes, just due to the concept of the game. It's a 3-on-3. It's a team-based fighting game, so you have a team of 3 characters, and when you get to the final boss, when you fight the final boss, you just fight that boss himself, and it's usually 3-on-1, and that's even though if you may not realize it. Just due to that alone, it lets you know how strong the bosses are in that game. Of course, from a gameplay perspective, King of Fighters has always had just crazy unfair bosses, right? But the CPU reading your inputs and all that shit, the crazy ass moves. Rugal, of course, being the start of all of that. That dude was just insanely hard. I would put him harder than Shao Kahn, early Shao Kahn, that is. But yeah, Rugal was a monster. And of course, um, during the story mode, the story in King of Fighters, you have different sagas. So the first saga, which is the Orochi saga, and that's nothing too. Just the way that these the story naming concept with the story is, you got the Orochi saga, Ness saga, um, what other saga? Oh, Ash Crimson saga. Yeah, I think there's a couple more. I forget the names of all saga, but the fact that it's called like this, it reminds you like Dragon Ball. You got the Saiyan saga, Android saga, Cell saga, Boo saga, Planet Namek, Frieza saga, you know, so on and so forth, right? Um, with Fendo sagas, you have a lot of stuff going on, but it culminates in the final battle between the certain team and the bad guy. And I think each saga lasts for at least like 3 games. I know the Nest saga lasted from King of Fighters 99 to 2001. And this is after the Orochi saga. Orochi saga, I forget how many games that lasted. Probably I know it's before 99, 96, 97, 98, but maybe them three, I think. But of course, the Sacred Treasures team was it? I'm not sure if it was Sacred Treasures team, but I know it was Kyo, Iori, and Shizune or Kagura. I forget the chick name that has the twin, but they took down Orochi and sealed him, I believe. And then the Nest Saga, though, and I think that's what the first 3 games. I could be wrong. It's been a while since I played those games, but the Nest Saga consisted of a totally different team winning the tournament and saving the day, and that was the Nest team, and that consisted of course, K Dash, which is supposedly a clone of Kyo, Maxima, his robot friend, cyborg dude, and Whip. Or it could have been Kula Diamond at sometimes too. These teams interchange. They change out every other game, but either all they're all part of the Nest team. Like you got K Dash, Maxima, Kula Diamond, Whip. I think there's Foxy and another character. But those guys, they ended up taking down the Nest bosses, which is Chrysalid, Clone Zero, Zero, and Ignis. I believe that culminated all the Nest Saga bosses, and with that being said, even though Kyo is the main hero of King of Fighters, he didn't always beat the final boss, right? Because it wouldn't make sense for him to constantly be the one to win when it has nothing to do with him. Although in this case, sometimes it did, but because they were using Clone. But like I said, the story is real huge on King of Fighters, and that's one of the reasons why I like that franchise so much. And the latest protagonist right now is Shune and Metakun. I guess they're the next generation. Some of you guys know what I'm talking about. I don't think a lot of people liked him too much, but he's cool. They took a chance on him. He seems to be doing a good job. You got past the torch. And that's another thing with these games too, that Street Fighter, Tekken as well. Oh, and Mortal Kombat did try to pass the torch, but either way, they have a problem with bringing in new people, or if they do bring them in, they get scared that fans don't like them. There might be some backlash. Of course, if you have a favorite character as a fan and you see your favorite character get replaced by another character, you're not gonna like that too much. But so I guess some of these developers in these other games, they see that people don't like these new replacement characters or whatnot, so they'll renege on that decision to bring those new characters in and bring the old character back. Like I said, with Tekken, Reina, I guess you could say, was the replacement for Heihachi. Now Heihachi's back. Although that also could be because, Street Fighter brought back in Bison, so they're like, fuck it, let's bring back, if they brought back in Bison, why shouldn't we bring back Heihachi, right? So I don't know. Yeah, it is what it is. Um, but yeah, back with the story beats and stuff. Yeah, King of Fighters. Also, their stories, they don't tend to abandon their alternate or wouldn't say alternate, but side stories. You know, there's so many characters within the King of Fighters franchise. Um, they all have their own stuff going. Like for instance, if K Dash is out doing his thing, fighting, helping out Ness, and him, Max, Makula Diamond doing their thing. While they're doing their thing, that doesn't mean that other characters are just jokey characters, just fucking around and shit. Nah, while they're doing that, fucking Terry Bogard and his Fatal Fury guys, they're probably out fighting Geese Howard somewhere, or Krauser. And of course, Kyo and Iori are dealing with Sacred Treasure Orochi stuff. Oh, we got a phone call. Let me see this real quick. Oh, it's nobody. But yeah. So while that's going on, everybody's doing their own thing, and you know, no story is. I mean, one the main story, of course, is gonna be more important than the other stories, of course, because that's the backbone of the game. But other characters are being developed with their own side stories. They're not just being forgotten and thrown to the wind. One game that has a problem with that is fucking Tekken. And Tekken, for some reason, aside if it's not dealing with the Mishimas or the Kazamas, whatever, that story or character development is just thrown out the window. For instance, you got the whole plot thing string with Armor King, and Marduk, and they had nothing to do with the Mishima stuff going on. But that storyline's cool too because you know, as we know, original King was killed by Ogre. Then we got New King. The New King was trained by Armor King 1, the first Armor King. Then Marduk came in the picture, and I guess they had a match or a fight. And I guess injuries that Armor King sustained from his fight with Marduk caused him to die or lose his life, right? And of course, after that happened, um, King and Marduk had a falling. They, you know, of course, that fueled their beef, but something they never really explained it. But I guess at some point between Tekken 5 and 6, King and Marduk made up, I guess. And if you play Tekken 6, you know that they're friends now. Um, but one of the things that came in Tekken 6 is, I guess, Armor King supposedly came back to life, right? Attacked Marduk and beat his ass and shit, had him in the hospital. And King came to help him, or, you know, help him out. Marduk ends up going to the cemetery to see if Armor King is really dead. Because, you know, of course he got beat up real bad by somebody he thought he killed. And he's like, whoa, is he a ghost or a zombie? What's going on? So he digs up the grave, sees Armor King's body is still in the grave. King shows up, and he's looking at Mar like, what are you doing? Then you see Armor King show up, and he's pointing at them both, and it was a cool scene. And like I said, it's one of the side stories of Tekken 6. I thought it was kind of dope. They both scared, but of course we find out this new Armor King is the younger brother of the original Armor King. But that's it. After that, we never hear nothing about that ever again. That side story just dropped away, gone. Another story that they never went on, which could actually be really interesting too, is Leo's story and the search for her mother's killer. Right? We know that Kazuya put the hit out to have her mother killed, but we don't know who actually killed her. So, you know, in Tekken 8, I was thinking maybe they would go in on that, but apparently that is thrown to the wind too. Of course, in their interactions between Leo and Kaz, she's saying, you know, I'm gonna avenge my mom or whatever fuck that is, but outside of that, there's no mention of that. And then seeing Leo interact with her dad, but still no word of that, that seems weird to me, especially with the dad popping up in the story and not wanting to figure out who killed his wife or whatever. That I didn't get that, but aside from that, we also have the connection with Leo's mom because when she was part of the Machine with Zaibatsu before she went over to G Corps, she was working on super soldiers and stuff. And this is where Steve Fox comes into play. We see if you been up with the lore of Tekken, you see the picture of Steve Fox being handled by the picture was Leo's mom, and Steve Fox is in the picture too. So there's a connection there. So what I don't understand is why didn't they play into that more? Like, and being that we know who fucking Steve Fox mom is, on Nina's an assassin. Why couldn't they just work that in? That would make that side story pretty fucking dope. And maybe even throw in a twist. Maybe like at some point Leo discovers the connection between Steve and her mom. They link up. They try to work out who the assassin is. And that at that time in 7, Steve was trying to reconnect with Nina, right? So they could have had that like, hey, Nina, we need to talk to you. You're an assassin. Did you ever was you the one to kill Leo's mom? And of course Leo wants to fight Nina, but Steve can't allow that because that's his mom. Some drama shit like that, but come to find out it was Anna who did it. It'll be some cool shit like that, but I don't know why they didn't do that. That would have been a pretty dope story beat, but that never came to light. They just threw that away too. Of course, and then you got that whole beef between Yoshimitsu, Alyssa, and Brian. Because Dr. B was attacked by Brian after getting that reactor or perpetual engine or whatever the fuck he was supposed to get. As soon as he got it, he not only attacked Dr. B and injured him, but end up killing Yoshimitsu's clan or attacking his clan as well. So now and then Alyssa, Dr. B created Alyssa, the form of his granddaughter or daughter or whatever. So that's another smaller one, but it's still a side story with that. Yoshi and Alyssa could team up to fight against Brian. This could actually make Brian in the lore, be actually a strong character lore wise as well. And then you got another smaller beef with, the Feng Wei thing, and actually that could be bigger. We know that Feng Wei, I don't know if he killed or attacked Asuka's granddad or whatever, or dad, but he was going around trying to prove that he's strong or the strongest martial arts master ever, and Asuka's granddad happened to be one of the people he attacked. We see that in I think Tekken 6's intro. You see him do a shoulder bash to that old dude through the tree or that statue or whatever. And that's Asuka's beat. But we also know that Feng has killed. He's a bad guy. If you're not sure on his alignment when it comes to the good guys and the bad guys in Tekken, Feng's a bad guy. Yeah, he's definitely a bad guy, and he's also I think Lei Wulong is trying to arrest him too, since he has killed people. So we have that going on. So that could definitely be a story beat too. Asuka could team up with Lei and maybe pull Lily in to help out with her resources and being rich and shit. They could team up to take down Feng Wei, right? And then, like I said, these are just examples of all these thrown away storylines that Tekken has that they don't go in on. And then, they're afraid to bring in, replace characters. Like, for instance, we have Lily, Asuka. No, I wouldn't say them. They're not replaced, but like new Kunimitsu, right? We got a replacement for her. I guess Reina's here now. I guess and Julia Chang, that's a replacement for her mama Michelle, and some other characters. Oh, and of course Howrong and Bake. But why can't we replace Law with Force? Let Force replace Marshall. This is one thing ever since Tekken 8 came out and I saw that, I just didn't understand why Force he's a younger fighter, it will help out Marshall's story too. Like, he's been having trouble with his restaurant. He can't. He keeps trying to run the restaurant and do the dojo thing at the same time. He can't do that. Apparently, that's his whole thing. He needs money to do both, but he can't. So, what would be good is he just does the restaurant thing, retires from fighting, and lead the martial arts stuff to Force. And that would actually be the most simplest thing to help with whole law storyline. And I guess Paul can chaperone Forrest around, make sure he's okay, and he'd be like a student mentor type thing. And it'll put Forrest over, make him actual cool character, especially since they made it seem like or he did end up losing to Lily. They could actually make him a cool character, bring him back. But yeah, I don't know. When it comes to the stories and stuff, King of Fighters is the only one I've seen as of late. I'm not familiar with the latest one. I have it, but I haven't been playing as much. I haven't been sticking with the story with the game too much. But in my opinion, King of Fighters, their story is just top notch. The rest of these games, it's like they're afraid to take too many risks or whatever, especially Mortal Kombat. To me, if you have Street Fighter, I guess it kind of makes sense, but Mortal Kombat, if you have one character constantly being the bad guy over and over and over again, hint hint Shang Tsung, then there's a problem, especially when there's stronger bad guy characters that you can use. I just don't get it. And yeah, they're constantly bringing in new characters and throwing them away, like returning characters. Like Takeda's back, but the rest of Combat Kids, I think they're gone to the wind. Ferritor, yeah, a lot of these side characters that are like assist type characters, like I think it'd be a lot cooler if they made them actual characters. I don't know. They just have so many characters that they can use, but they're afraid to use them for some reason. I don't know. Maybe they don't know how to make them right or whatever. And the fact that MK1 is like a remake, a retcon everything, a new universe, and they still are afraid to bring some of these characters back. I mean, some, but not. It's just I don't know. I don't. I guess my opinions with MK. I don't like that whole assist thing. A lot of those characters should be main characters. I don't know, but Mortal Kombat, they doing their own thing. But the next thing though is customization of characters, right? And Tekken, I think Tekken is like doing the worst out of all of them. Like Tekken 7, they had a good idea. Like ever since Tag 2, customization has been going down. Like Tekken 7, they it seemed like they were gonna do something good. The customization options were limited, but they did make it so that they only did for two characters, but like King at launch, he had two outfits, right? Two costumes or outfits, and the default outfit, he had the rage art and shit, but he had another outfit that gave him an alternate rage art. Of course, it did the same amount of damage, but just a different animation. That's actually a cool concept. The only other character that got something like that was Lars. So I'm not sure why they never went in on that. It would have been dope if they did, but it's like that was just an idea that they did once and just left it alone. I don't know. Maybe they was too caught up with like FGC stuff, but it would have been It would have been really dope if they kept that alive. And moving on to Tekken 8, yeah, the customization has like gotten even worse to the point that a lot of the customization options that you had at launch with these other games, they've relocked them and attached them to a season pass that you had to pay for. It's not like new. Some of it's new, but most of it has been just stuff that was already in past games that you have to work for that you don't have at launch. It's weird. What I don't get, like you see on the screen here, I've been had this King of Fighters little thing up for a while now, but I was thinking of why won't they use some of these costumes from these characters and do like a collab? Like Street Fighter 6 has done a collab, not with other fighting games, But they did one with an anime called Spy Family, and that was, I mean, that was a questionable take. I don't know why they did that, but I mean, it's a step in the right direction, especially with that Ninja Turtle shit they did. I don't know what that was about, but the cost that was insane. But some of these costumes for the character like Blue Mary, her let's look at her costume. Her outfit's pretty dope. Why can't we have like Raina have a get her outfit in game? Like this would be pretty cool. Like, why not have this as an outfit that you can get for some of the characters, like a collab, King of Fighters collab? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's in fact, that's her only outfit she ever had. But it's a pretty dope outfit. It looked cool as shit. Blue Mary's a good character regardless. I like that character, but not sure why they won't do that. Like, that's a cool outfit. For instance, How Wrong, like when since I play How Wrong, right? He does Taekwondo, if you know who he is. But my earliest interaction with fighting games and the Taekwondo, I like when it comes to martial arts, I like Taekwondo and Chinese martial arts, but Taekwondo was the first one I liked. So of course, Kim Kapwan, it's a pretty iconic character. I was thinking, why wouldn't you give him How Wrong like outfits from characters that from other games that practice how on Taekwondo? Like, for instance, this outfit's pretty fucking dope. Why wouldn't How Wrong get this? Like, do a collab as King of Fighters. Let him get this outfit from how I say this outfit. Why this outfit, not the other one? Because this outfit right here. Oh, let me see. This the traditional Taekwondo gi, Korean gi or whatever. Um, how Wrong has this already? Not like exactly like with the baggy pants and shit, but he kind of has this already. This was his original outfit in the last games. Well, not the last. I think this was his Tekken 4, but you could get it in the last game too and 6. This was his alternate outfit, so this wouldn't necessarily be new. Not sure why it ain't back yet. They got his other outfit back, but the motorcycle one, but not this one. But this can come too. But yeah, I don't see why they won't do that. Do a collab with this outfit. Actually, looks a lot cooler though. This is my favorite outfit of all. I don't see why they wouldn't just give him this one, right? Like this outfit's dope as shit. He is my favorite out of all the outfits Kim has ever had. This is my favorite one of all time. You know what I'm saying? So not sure why they should do shit like that. Look at all these and all these little outfits and stuff that they put in. Oh, and Leo, another one. Boom. You have Leo wear king shit. Leo's some think is a dude, but Leo's basically a girl that dressed like a dude, right? Oh, look at King. Boom. That's King's MO. She used to. Her whole story was she's a girl, but she was working for Mr. Big. She wore this outfit right here. They made her look more feminine in later games, but in the first Art of Fighting game, or was it Art of Fighting 1 or 2? I think it's the first one. They made her look more manly because her thing was she was trying to hide the fact that she was a girl, right? And she got defeated by Ryo Sakazaki. And when upon defeating her, he found out that King was a girl, and but she continued to wear the tuxedo like outfit ever since. This is a pretty cool outfit, and I think Leia would look cool like this. Look at the hair too. They got this hairstyle in the game. You can actually make Leia look like King a little bit. Although Leo does not do the same fighting style as King. King does Muay Thai kickboxing. She's a kickboxer. Leo does, I think, Baji Quan or Taj, one of the Quans, but hit him with the Quan. But yeah, this is what I mean by taking chances. I don't see why they haven't done this yet. This is Tekken 8 we're on right now, and they have yet to do shit like this, right? I mean, can't say that they can't get the rights to do it. I mean, Geese Howard was literally in Tekken 7, right? He was in Tekken 7, and Akuma was also in Tekken 7 as well. He was actually part of the story. So I don't see why they don't let you get like collab outfits like that. That would actually improve the game, make it a lot cooler. Customization is the key to victory. Like being able to make your characters look different from other people's shit and fighting with them. That's always been a cool thing about fighting games too. Customization works as well as everything else. But also another thing I wanted to go in. Last thing though was whereas Tekken did do a collab with Street Fighter, and I know what like they did it because the Street Fighter Cross Tekken game, and we're supposed to be getting the reverse. It doesn't seem like we're gonna get that, but why not do a collab? Like bring over characters from either Virtual Fighter or Dead or Alive. And the reason why I say that is because whereas Street Fighter, yeah, it is up there at the big three when it comes to fighting games, it's really popular. Those characters don't really necessarily work in a 3D environment as well as, DOA and Virtua Fighter. Just due to the fact that Virtua Fighter and DOA are also 3D fighting games, those characters would work a lot better. And if they don't want to, I would actually prefer Virtual Fighter over Dead or Alive because a lot of characters in Dead or Alive are already, well, at least their fighting styles are in Tekken already. Like Helena, she fights the same way as Zhang Fei or Zhang, I'm not, or whatever her name is, Jin's little girlfriend, Zhou Yu. Boom. Helena fights the same way as she does, right? Then you got Rig. Rig is my favorite character. Like I said, he's Taekwondo. In fact, I prefer him over How Wrong anyways. Because he fights cooler. I guess How Wrong, he's more like traditional sports Taekwondo, whereas Rig is like freestyle. He does a lot of cool spinny kicks, like B twists and shit. Like, in fact, I'll show you what I'm talking about. I got the video for you anyways. I even got it set up. Like, let's see. I'll show you what I mean. Like, out of his little inlet turn cut on stance, he does a lot of little B twist shit. How Wrong don't fight like this, I mean, he does, but he does Taekwondo, but either way, like that right there, and you'll see a little bit better with his grab moves too. Like shit like that. That looks dope as fuck. Now that move right there, they got that from Tony Jaa. He did that in his Bach movie. And I thought that was cool. When I first saw his character, that was one thing that made me like him too. Because when I saw that, I was like, hold up. They took Tony Jaa's move and gave it to him. So that looked pretty dope. But like I said, I feel like Rig he does it. He's like better at taekwondo. His taekwondo is more flashier than How Wrong. That's why I like him better. And I always like the flashy shit too. So that's always been my thing. The flashier, the better. But yeah, I don't know why they won't bring those characters over. Oh, and of course, even though I said like my first favorite character of all time was Kim, he wasn't he was my favorite, but then I discovered another character that does taekwondo, but is just way cooler than him. In fact, King of Fighters, there's a lot of characters in King of Fighters that I like that haven't appeared in another game. Like here he is, Jun Hoon. This is freaking Kim's rival. His characters, and in fact, they could give How Wrong his outfit too. His character design is dope as fuck. Can I make this shit bigger? Hold on, make it bigger. Can I make it bigger? Hold up. Thing that's cool about him. What is that? This dude, like all like out of all the Taekwondo practitioners in all these games, he's the only one that actually only fights with his legs, right? He don't punch at all. His character design is dope as shit, and he only fights with his legs. He only does kicks. Hey, damn, they all. Alright, you can come back down now, buddy. But that's his character design. The dude buff as shit too. Like, for a guy that only fights with his legs, this dude's big as fuck. Like, I'm like, why your arms so? Why this dude so damn jacked? Like, damn. But yeah, this dude was dope as shit. I saw him. I think this is what King of Fighters is this 2002. Okay, yeah. Ramon's also cool. He's a like a luchador wrestler dude. He's dope as fuck too. But yeah, he was a cool character. And then you have what's his name, Adelheid Bernstein, and this is Rugel's son. This dude, he's basically like, if you're familiar with Rock Howard, you know how Rock Howard's the son of Geese Howard, right? He just the good guy's son of the boss bad guy. Adel is the son of Rugel. So I always thought they could make a team together. They'll just need a third person. Maybe it could be K49. He could be, or I forget what his new name is now, but that'd be cool. I always, when I saw him, his design was dope too. And then of course he's the son of Rugel, so I was like, he has all his moves and he's canonically strong and shit. But I think it's only in one game. I was like, what's up with that? Like him and his sister Rose, while he's fighting, his sister plays on the piano and shit. He's actually a good guy though. They didn't like their dad. It'll be cool to see, like, for DLC for the new King of Fighters. It'll be dope. Like, now that Rugel's back, it'll be cool if Adelheid, took more of a role in taking down his dad. Maybe team up with Heidern and they work together to take his dad down again. And Heidern can actually be the one to defeat Rugel this time. That'd be cool as shit. But like Adelheid and Junhoon were like my favorite KO characters ever. And their outfits are dope as fuck. And I don't see why, having their clothes, like, their outfits in Tekken would be cool. They do a collab, have these cool looking outfits for these certain characters that, kind of matched their counterparts in these other games would be cool as hell. I don't know why they won't do that, but hopefully Tekken does that in the future. We'll see what happens, but other than that, that's all I had on talking about fighting games today. Like I said, I'm gonna start when I have thoughts about certain shit concerning certain games. I'm just jump on here and I'm just talk about it. Get it out there, see what other people say about it too, especially when it comes to like DLC and future content, because some of the stuff I said, if these developers actually utilize these things, these games, the shelf life of these games could go pretty far, pretty far. But other than that, if you, like I said before in the beginning, if you like what you see, I'm gonna put this on YouTube, so y'all can check it out there if you missed out. You can like and subscribe, all that good shit. But I'll catch you guys later, all right? And peace.